r/AskReddit by Redmond Dts. What is the wildest thing you have seen at a party? Had a dude come into my college party house saying he had balls of steel and charged $1 for people to kick him in the nuts. He had balls of steel and made like $40. I was at a musician's house for a party. He went to the bathroom and came out naked and sat back down like nothing was amiss. Within a half hour, a lot of other people at the party were naked and just chilling and talking. It eventually went down the sexual path, but for a little bit, there it was just a normal party with a bunch of naked people. Asked him after why he did it, and he said, "I just wanted to see what people would do." Weirdly enough, my mom told me a nearly identical story from the 80s, except the host of the party claimed he did it because he was pissed that people were still at his home and wanted everybody to leave. What he didn't account for was 99% of the party being on hard drugs and or incredibly drunk, which is why it played out the way it played out. A guest kicked everyone out of the main room so that he could sit alone and watch Evanescence, who were playing live via MTV. A stripper with a dildo attached to a drill. The drildo. One that comes to mind, not because it's the wildest, but the weirdest. Back in college, I had a pretty big house with a few roommates, and we threw parties all the time. During one 4th of July party, at around 1 AM my girlfriend and I wanted to take a break from the party, so we went to my bedroom. I opened the door to find my dog sitting up very straight on the bed with 5 other people who I didn't even know on their knees, bowing to my dog like they were worshipping her. And my dog Molly was just sitting there basking in it. I asked if we could please have the room, and they got up and walked out. One girl just said, "Sorry, she's just so beautiful." Had a pool party for a bunch of friends. One gets out and goes to the screen door and says, "I think this dog wants to party in the pool with us." How do you know? He has a life preserver on. Well shit, let him in. Opens the door, and, sure enough, golden retriever with a doggy life preserver on runs in, jumps in the pool, and swims with us. Later his owner comes up to collect him with no explanation. I never saw the owner or that dog before or after that party again. Somebody vomited on the cement patio, not too exciting. But the real show came later, when a fat scruffy possum showed up outside the glass patio door to eat the vomit in front of a room of thrilled party goers. Now that's a party animal. I don't know if this is wild, but we had this fringe guy, Horrible Peter, who used to randomly show up at parties in the Philly area. He got his nickname because he smashed some dude's face into the corner of a counter one time, and the guy lost his eye. Everyone tread lightly around Horrible Peter, and when he'd randomly show up somewhere, the get-together would usually relocate somewhere else on the sly. One night, I was hanging out with my buddy and his girlfriend and that girl's friend, kind of a blind date sort of thing, in my friend's backyard jacuzzi. Horrible Peter must have heard music or something, and comes in the backyard. Stands there creepily for a little, then says, "Looks like you could use some marinade," and dumped his beer in the hot tub and left without another word. Snow White giving the dude a hand job in the middle of the kitchen in a crowded Halloween party. I was a dude at a Halloween party. Except it was the Queen of Hearts riding me in the bathroom. Note to self: dress as a dude for Halloween. While we were rock climbing in college, we found a leg hold trap like one would use to catch raccoons. The guys cleaned it up, oiled it, and began seeing if they could beat the trap by tripping the mechanism with a pencil and pulling it out in the milliseconds before the trap slammed shut. With practice we could all do it, and then did it with our fingers. Fast forward a few months, and the trap had been long forgotten and was sitting with some magazines on the lower level of our coffee table. Ron spied the trap after drinking a 5th of Jim Beam one night and said, "Watch this," to the cute girls we had over. Before we could respond, he set the trap and attempted to beat it with his fingers. It snapped right down to the bones on his fingers due to his delayed reaction time. Then he yanked, and the trap swung almost to the ceiling, with blood spattered everywhere. In less than 2 minutes, the girls departed. We said, "Ron, you fucking moron, we never have cute girls over." It's been 30 years, and we still call him Moron, or Mo for short. In the back room of a house there was this guy rebuilding a motorcycle. It was the middle of the winter, and he'd converted the space into a workshop, but it also had a couch and a TV and a mini fridge with a coffee maker on top. Every other square inch of the house was filled with party goers and various events and conversations. But in this back space was this dude in shorts, humming along to classical music, and slowly and methodically putting a Kawasaki Ninja back together, piece by piece. Saw a girl tilt her head back, and poured Midori and Sambuca down her throat at the same time. She didn't vomit. Separate party. 2 girls got naked, and assumed the 69 position. They brought each other to climax, got dressed, and left together. This girl got blackout wasted, and butt-ass naked at a smallish house party, when we were teenagers. Like fully not even aware of herself at all, and it was obvious and concerning. A few of the assholes were laughing, and started taking pictures of her, and the biggest dude in the room was like, "Nah, we're not doing that shit to her, let me see your phones. Everyone delete that shit, that's not cool." I was pleasantly surprised and decided Big Dog was safe after that, lol. The house next door was under construction, and a guy got in the backhoe and punched 6969 into the keypad, and it started up. Then I watched as a drunk guy partially demolished a house. There's some competition, but that's definitely up there. Edit, since people are asking. A list of some other contenders. Arson. Explosions and a gasoline fire. Separate instances than the arson story. Various sex stuff. A mass shooting. Somebody on probation jumping out a 3rd floor window, landing 15 feet away from me, and compound fracturing both of his legs because he thought the cops were there. Close-up magic. 2 stories. I worked for my local county prosecutor's office and was dating an attorney there. We went to a house party at a colleague's home. We were all young, in our 20s, thinking it was just going to be some drinks and chit chat, but the dude had a whole sex dungeon in his house that he was enthusiastically showing off to co-workers. We were shocked that he would invite people from work to his home and then tell them all about his sexual interests. I worked in a big city, but attorney circles are small, and by the following week, everyone was talking about him at the courthouse. It's fine to be into that shit, but maybe don't tell the people you work with. I don't need to know that Dave from the white collar crimes division likes a sex swing. In high school, we used to party out in the desert at this place called the Boulders. It was just a bunch of rocks out in the middle of a strip of desert, obviously. Some kid brought his dad's brand new BMW to the party that he wasn't supposed to be driving. Well, eventually the cops showed up and everyone split. This kid was trying to get away with the lights off and hit one of the rocks, which cracked some important piece underneath the car. He managed to get away and got the car home, which looked undamaged otherwise, but the car was massively fucked up. I guess the kid's dad took it back to the dealership and they found the crack, but didn't see any other damage, and so they replaced the car. We were all convinced this kid was toast, but he got away scot-free. It was wild. Someone lit a firework off in the family room. Not a small one either, a consumer grade mortar. Blew a hole in the ceiling. Quite honestly, one of the funniest things I've ever seen. This was a concert that I'd say was closer to a party than anything really. Every Time I Die in Louisville, sometime in like 2008-2009. Dude with one leg got crowd surfed onto the stage and was hopping around asking for the mic. They let him ask the crowd if anyone had his prosthetic leg. The leg emerged from the pit and also got crowd surfed to the front. It was immediately filled with beer. Everyone in the band chugged from it along with its owner. They gave him the leg back, and he was thrown back into the crowd, like you would toss someone into a pool, by their legs, leg and arms. Band went back to playing like nothing happened. Two girls going down on each other on a washing machine at a party, with about 10 guys cheering. I saw a friend try to open a beer bottle with his teeth. The bottle broke, and he got a giant chunk of glass stuck in his gums. Then I saw another friend dig a chunk of glass out of said friend's gums with a Leatherman, while everyone else watched. Did the Leatherman have a bottle opener on it by any chance? I was just wondering. Yes, as a matter of fact it did. I was at a house party in a trailer around 1999 or 2000, and I opened a bedroom door, set something down, and saw a foursome going on, 2 guys and 2 girls. I was like, what the F, and closed the door, and one guy came with a full-on boner telling me I should join. So weird, feels like a fever dream now. Well, did you join? Did not, lol. There was this eccentric older extreme alcoholic guy who loved to throw parties. He had this massive house built out of concrete. The living room and foyer had ceilings 20 or 30 feet high. In his foyer was an operational hot air balloon basket. Guy decides to fire up his hot air balloon torch in his foyer. Blind guy mud wrestling a girl after using his cane to break the pinata filled with porn and condoms. A guy bringing in a huge bag of fallen leaves and dumping them everywhere, followed by another guy starting a lawn mower and proceeding to mow them. Things went further downhill from there. I left when I heard the mower start. All of this occurred indoors. As I said, the event got even wilder, but we left when they started up the mower in the living room. A murder. I was about 20 or 21. I saw a guy get stabbed to death at a house party. Sounds terrible. What was the reason? Gang related. I don't know anything about the victim gang affiliation, but it was a group of random people that crashed the party to start fights. Saw a guy get shot, he lived. A girl overdose, she died. A girl let like 8 guys bang her on a kitchen island. Caught a deputy sheriff in a hot tub with 4 underage girls. I was at this party and I saw some guy chug an entire massive glass of strawberry milk, proceeded to run around my backyard, shooting Nerf guns and screaming, then threw up. It was the worst 8th birthday party I've ever had. Not gonna lie, until that last part I imagined him as grown man. That's all folks. Thank you for watching. If you like videos like this one, why not like and subscribe for more? Have a nice evening.